Howdy friends and neighbors, old Doc here. I thought I'd try to make a short video on putting this hydraulic cylinder back together. I thought about using the piston ring compressor. To help everything get started. Let me grab the deadbolt hammer. I think it's going to go all right. I did, what did I do with the hammer? There it is. I did have good luck in finding those those leather cup seals. There we go. I did have good luck finding those. Our local hydraulic shop in South Sioux, they had them, and so I got two sets, and I guess they're not as uncommon as I thought they were. I need to I wonder how far down I should. It's got to go in more than that for me to get that. Let me bring you back in a second. I need to push that second piece down in there. Okay, we got her seated down in there. I just have to screw the gland nut down in. But yeah, the local hydraulic shop, they said that it's mainly, yeah, I gotta just get this bunged up. Son of a gun started in there, and that's gonna take both hands. But anyway, they said those leather cup seals are mainly used in, and they're still used in telescopic cylinders. So I looked in the book, and they have two cylinders for this machine. So I don't know what these cylinders came off of, unless they were an early cylinder and they didn't like them and changed them. But there's the Bobcat book for this machine. It shows two different cylinders, and nothing as far as like the gland nut and that last piece I put in there, that's all one piece with rubber O-rings and plastic wear bands and things in both of them, the bottom part and this top part. So that's whether these cylinders came with this Bobcat, that's a mystery. So it's going to take two hands to get that gland nut screwed in there because of the boogered up threads. And when we fire it up and give it a test, we'll see if she squirts. Well folks, I got I screwed that down in there, but it just seems like the threads are too far gone, and that's probably why they had that plate on there. Unfortunately, I didn't put the plate back on. I still have it, but what I think I'm going to end up doing is I think I'll split that plate, cut it in half, put it back on there, bolt it, and then maybe weld it. I don't know. But I think that that plate was holding that thing in, that gland nut, and I think I'm going to have to do that. I'm not going to do it today, so it may be next weekend or a few days from now anyway, before I get around to doing that. But I'm going to keep this video in the can and we'll continue it. I'll show you the outcome, whether she leaks like a sieve or blows the whole thing like Old Faithful in Yellowstone or what. So stay tuned. Well, I changed my mind. I went ahead, I just took the Sawzall, split that in half, and bolted it back on there. Oh, get you up here where you can see. Dang it. You see the split there where I cut it, and up there. Bolted it back on there. I have half a notion that the reason that wiper seal got taken out. Let me try to do this with one hand and okay, let's put you guys over here. I think what happened, part of the problem, other than they stripped the bananas out of those threads, and then they took and cut that metal plate, put it on there, and I'm sure dirt and rocks and what have you got packed in there. And then that took out the wiper seal. And well, apparently this is going to take me forever to get those threads lined up. But yeah, I think that dirt and crap got in there, took out that wiper seal. There we go. Which happens to be the same seal that goes in the hydraulic variable speed drive, and that is readily available. What, I got 2 of them? I accidentally ordered 2, and I went to get that for the variable speed, which is fine because it saved me from having to order another one and wait however many days it was to get it. And I think they were like $13 and change for both of them. And I do not remember who I ordered them from. I don't think I got them off Amazon, but I'm not sure. Maybe I should have put this top one on first. And the proper wrench. Would be a plus. We got her going. So yeah, I got really lucky that the local hydraulic shops. Oh yeah, we can still get those leather cup seals. Matter of fact, they had one set, and he told me, he said, I'm getting some more in tomorrow. So I told him, I said, well, I'll be back to get another set. So I don't know how many sets he ordered, but I got ones, the outside leather cups and the inside leather cups. So that was fantastic, I thought. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my hands off and put some tools away, and I'll bring you guys back. We'll start her up and see if she leaks like a sieve. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing fired up. And got the choke out. I got to raise the arms up because I pulled the pins on my tilt thing. Well, the arms apparently settled in a little bit, and it's got it trapped. So, well, So there we go. Dry. That's good. That's good. I may take the plasma cutter, cut some of that off both sides. It looks like it had been hitting on both sides there. And let me duck my head and get turned around. And this side, it may have been hitting too. So, and it won't hurt to cut those off. This one, see how this one's starting to get cruddy. But anyway, there we go. Back in business. Back in business. So, oh, there's my, I was wondering what I did with that other clip. I bust my hand pulling it out of there. I can't see the doggone hole. Because I'm too close with my glasses and trying to look through the phone and there, see what I'm doing at the same time. So there we go. I'm glad that is done. I have that John Deere cylinder there. Actually, I have two of them. They are the lift arms off a John Deere 46A loader. And they are 12 inches or so too long for lift cylinders here. But they work, or tilt cylinders, I'm sorry. But they will work for lift cylinders. I just have to cut, let me get around here and I'll show you. See this square shaft on the end? I'll have to cut it off like right here and bore another hole. And those will work for lift cylinders if the need ever arises. So that's where we're at, folks. I may go ahead and redo this tilt cylinder on this side before it gets cold and I lose the cups and O-rings, and it's not a hard project. I was really sweating finding those leather cups. I was really glad that our local hydraulic, see, and that's just something, a guy thinks something is obsolete, and I looked all over the internet and I couldn't find anything like that. I don't know if they have a special name to them, what, maybe that was the reason I couldn't find any. But you know, go to your local hydraulic shops. You know, maybe you live in an area where there's still like an old John Deere or International shop, you know, not the, you know, mom and pop's type tractor garage or something. So that saved me a lot with having to replace that cylinder and everything. But I was just afraid that that gland nut wasn't going to stay in on its own. That's why I split that flat piece and bolted it back on. Because I think part of the problem is they have that right there welded on top, and then there's welding on the bottom of the tube. I wonder if they split the end of that tube out, if that was part of the reason. And then they bunged up them threads trying to doggone my fancy dancy Klein tool outlet thing doesn't shut off anymore, so I have to unplug all the lights and crap. But there we go. And I hope if you guys missed the first part of this, go back. Not the last video. My last video was just the other day of the tractor pull that my grandson and our friend Tyson pulled in. So go to the video before, and you'll, I believe it is, and see the dismantling of that. And there is another, it's a benefit tractor pull, September 13th, I think it is, and near my dad's place over in Spink, South Dakota. And my grandson wants to pull in that too. So Dad was all excited and called me yesterday and asked me if I'd help him again, and I told him I sure would. And he wants me to bring the M up, but I don't have any way of hauling it up there. Otherwise I'd pull the loader off and I'd take the M up and pull. But I looked up on tractor data, and Chet, my grandson, his little 2010 John Deere is 144 cubic inches displacement, or the engine. It's 144 cubic inches. I don't remember what an M is. So anyway, if you guys want to see another tractor, I wish I could have. That thing went on for 6 hours, and I was running out of battery. Otherwise I would have. It wasn't any of that big, you know, 4-engine hot rod type stuff like what you see on ESPN or whatever. These were mostly farm tractors. Some of them had been cranked clear up and had to pull in the like outlaw class, whatever you want to call it. And but if you want to see another tractor pull, let me know, and I'll sure. I think this benefit one is for antique tractors like the M's. My B is going to be way too small, or Matthews B. I think the lowest class they have is 3700 or something. But if they have that big, the big red sled that Jeremy Moss down in Fremont had at the last pull, if they have that big sled, the B won't even, it'll tighten the chain on it, but that's all it'll do. So I'm not even going to consider taking Matthews B. So anyway, yeah, if you want to see another tractor pull, let me know, and I'll sure record it and post what I can. And like I said, I wish I could have recorded all of the tractors, but it was 5 hours, and there was no intermission in between or anything. It was just steady pulling for 5 hours, maybe even longer. I don't remember. It went on to, well, actually it was 6, because they started just before 5, and it was 11 o'clock that evening when it got over with. So it was steady pulling. So anyway, let me know what you guys want to see. I've been wanting to tell you that we got a friend of mine. His dad had passed away a couple of years ago, and he has his dad's, and if I remember right from when I was a kid, his dad's Super C, I'm pretty sure it's a Super C Farmall, and it's been sitting for years in the garage. And Steve asked me if I would come and get it going for him again, and I said I surely will, because Steve and I, we've known each other over 50 years. So I want to get that done, but it's going to have to be a weekend deal, and my weekends are pretty full the way it is. And so that's going to be coming up soon also. So, but I told Steve, I said, I'll get it going. I said, but I want to record it for my YouTube channel. He goes, no problem at all. So he's looking forward to it, and I am too, because when we were kids, we did a lot of monkey business with that poor little tractor. And we'll get into that when we get to working on it. So, friends and neighbors, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Be kind to yourself. Do something kind for a friend, a stranger, or a loved one. My neighbor's still trying to get his, well, he got his engine back. I believe that's his sister's car. He had to pull the engine out, put crank seals and stuff in it. The other night at the tractor pull, old Pearl hatched a brake line. I fixed that yesterday. Penny, I had to make a new one. And because why would a parts store carry anything like that? So I made up a new line, and Penny helped me bleed the brake, so we got brakes on Pearl again instead of pushing on the brake. And it just, there's like 3 plastic clips, and they're like this to hold like 4 lines. Well, you know how that goes. Wherever they have those clips, that's where the dirt and the moisture gathers, and it rotted the line out. So it was just one of them. And everyone, well, hell, I got the line back here. You can see how bad. This is the back of the line, and I cut the end off. No, this was the front. This went in the front. It wasn't bad until you got, here was a clip, there was a clip, and that's where she started leaking. Right there, you can see, maybe you can see that little pinhole. Maybe you can't, but see how good it is in between the clips. There was a clip here. See how crappy it is? And then back here, it really surprised me. There was the fitting that went in above the back axle, and this was in the open. But why that rusted, I mean, the fitting was right here. Okay, why that was rusted so bad, and it was about rotted out. It twisted off trying to get the little nut off. But everything that wasn't clamped in is good steel. But right where those clamps were, that's where she's crap. So anyway, yeah, I bought a coil of 3/16 steel tubing, made a new one. There's my tractor weights. Chet wants to borrow them, and that's Dad's clevis I need to get, and I'll bet he's got my twisted clevis. Anyway, be kind to yourself. Do something kind for a friend, a stranger, or a loved one, and happy trails.